nobody in the entire police division was available. I was absolutely baffled.
Mark Carney is a hypocrite. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Mark Carney gave a speech for Truth and Reconciliation Day. I don't know if he realizes while he was giving this speech, many of the wrongful things that happened during the residential school era that he's pointing blame to, he is doing himself today. He's complicit for the exact same thing that he is criticizing others for. On top of that, with crime being out of control in Canada, we've got a top minister from India warning Canada that their terror lords, their criminals are coming to Canada and the Liberal government is giving them citizenship. They're in our country, they're not going home, and the Liberals don't know where they are. Let's jump into this. Give Mark Carney, here he is, Truth and Reconciliation Day. What did he have to say? Listen to this absolute hypocrisy.
At the beginning of my mandate as Prime Minister, I had an Indigenous painting installed outside the Cabinet room behind us in the West Block of Parliament. It's called A Brief History of the Northwest Coast, designed by Luke Parnell. And it depicts a painful part of our shared history through 11 wooden panels with images inspired by the design on the bent wood boxes and feast bowls of the Nisga'a and the Haida. The first few of those panels burst with vibrant colors, and then with contact, those colors fade until the middle ones become smothered in white paint, a culture literally whitewashed. The final panels begin to resemble the original glory, with image, though marked by what has been endured, that are renewed and resurgent.
This guy's unbelievable. The hypocrisy, him uttering these words. What happened with residential schools was awful. And going back further, 100 plus years, colonial Europeans coming in and taking over First Nations. When it comes down to it, all those people are gone today. None of them are alive. While residential schools did operate up until the 50s, 60s, even the 70s, this guy telling a story of whitewashing, completely taking over a culture. What do we have today, Mark Carney? This guy and Justin Trudeau opened the floodgates. He didn't shut the floodgates from South Asia. Now we have so many people from India primarily coming in and erasing Canadian culture, not only erasing the evil white man, but also First Nations. First Nation culture will get wiped out by too many people coming from South Asia. The hypocrisy of him is unbelievable. He's actively recreating what happened in the past, at least wiping out culture. Sure, you don't have people from South Asia running residential schools, but I mean, does he not understand hypocrisy of what he just said there?
This painting captures the pain of suppression and assimilation, and the possibility of reconciliation and renewal.
What really needs to happen is there needs to be a price tag on reconciliation and a final price tag so all Canadians can be equal. Because right now, all Canadians are not equal. And that is a problem. If you want to talk about inclusivity, you can't have one life worth more than another. I haven't done anything. I didn't run a residential school. Neither did most other Canadians alive today. It's not fair to punish the rest of us from the sins of the past. And we're talking decades ago. We're talking at least 50, 60, 70 years ago. Most people who participated in that are not alive today. And on top of that, his Century Initiative, it is going to wipe out First Nation culture, and it'll be his doing. So him giving this speech here, the hypocrisy's rich. How about a forensic audit? I mean, when it comes down to it, if there are bodies and grave sites, then let's see them. If there aren't, we need to stop lying about that. We need to accurately depict what is going on. Let's put this all out in the open to know what is true. This is what Liberals do best. Try to divide us and get us pitted against each other. They try this with the V-word status, with our gender, with our age. They try this with LGBTQ. Guess what? There's a lot of people in that community that vote conservative, and they're trying it here with reconciliation and First Nations. They're doing this again here, trying to get First Nations all fired up, and they continue to hand out billions of dollars to corrupt First Nation chiefs who don't hand out that money to the rest of their bands. Their people suffer, and then it creates more conflict, more headbutting in the communities. When it comes down to all communities are welcome in the Conservative Party, including First Nations. There's many First Nation supporters. There's a lot of First Nations who support my channel here because I'm fighting for the real people on the ground and not the corrupt chiefs making $644,000 a year, like this guy here, Ron Giesbrecht, 644 grand a year. There's also another one makes 900 something thousand dollars a year. This is utter corruption that directly takes from the bands and his community. By keeping Liberals in power, it's further impoverishing many of the First Nation peoples of Canada. It all comes down to, do you have an incredibly corrupt chief running your band? Moving ahead, we've got this one from Rebel News. Quite the story here. We've got David Menzies goes into a LCBO stumbling juice store just to get some whiskey for himself. While he was in there, a couple of South Asians came in and started stealing a bunch of stumbling juice. So he pulls out his phone and starts recording this. Check this out.
Yeah, you don't want to agitate him. Are you guys paying for that? Hey, Get away from the
Are you punks paying for that?
What he just held up there is dog spray. Mace. So that is against the law to use that on people. He should be charged just for threatening that. So he gets the plates here. And then what he does is they track down where this guy lives. As you see here, he goes outside the house, tracks it down, does some detective work. Then he goes back to LCBO, confronts the manager. The manager does not want to talk to him. Then he goes on to say there's instances where recently there was $130,000 worth of stumbling juice that was stolen, and the back door just happened to be unlocked, and then people came in and stole it. And it seems like it's an inside job from some of these managers. The managers telling their buddies, hey, it's going to be open tonight. And because this is a government-operated stumbling juice store, the taxpayer pays for this. The stumbling juice becomes more expensive for the taxpayer, and it's not an individual owner of the store. They're not out of pocket. It's another grift. While he's here, he's only able to talk to the guy who's working here. The manager refuses to come out and talk to him. Then he takes this story to the Toronto police, and they refuse to even acknowledge his story, write it down or anything. They won't look into it. They tell him to phone in and submit a tip, but you can't get through. The line does not go through. There's a guy waiting in line there who had over $10,000 of stuff stolen. He tried to get through for days, could not get through this line. It seems crime really pays, especially in Toronto. Someone wants to steal something, they're likely going to get away with it.
For hours, didn't matter. Nobody in the entire police division was available to take his report. So when it came to my turn, guess what happened, folks? Exactly the same thing. Even though I told the lady, I have video evidence, even though I told the lady we have done some detective work and we know where the getaway car resides, the house in Brampton, she wasn't interested. I was absolutely baffled. I even offered my business card and said, could you have an officer when he's available to call me? And evidently that is a non-starter. That cannot be done. I'm not kidding.
Crime pays in Canada. And we're seeing more and more of these criminals coming here because, well, they're welcomed here. They're being given citizenship. And that's what we're seeing with this story here. Mario Zelania posting this one. We've got the Minister of External Affairs, the government of India, sounding the alarm here that Canada is openly welcoming all of their criminals. Criminals they want to lock up. The Liberal government, Mark Carney, his government is giving these people citizenship.
Number of gangland people, number of people with organized crime links from Punjab have been made welcome in Canada. We have been telling Canada, saying, look, these are wanted criminals from India. You have given them visas. They have come, many of them in false documentation, and yet you allow them to live there. If you decide to import for political purposes people with very dubious, actually very negative background, there will be issues. They have, in some cases, created problems in their own country. Of their own.
Yeah, we're already seeing what those issues are. People stealing stuff left, right, and center. Cars, home invasions, stumbling juice, mugging people on the streets. It's endless. The Liberals have brought in so much crime. I don't know why Liberal supporters think this is okay. They just turn a blind eye because it's not affecting them.
That is the Minister of External Affairs for India. His own words, we're letting in criminals into our country. They warned us. And they're coming in with fake documents. These are people that create issues in their own countries. And if Canada's doing it for political purposes, we're going to have a problem. His words, not mine. Immigration is out of control, and we need to do a better job of vetting so we only get the best of the best of the best.
That's how our system used to be. We had the best system in the world, and countries were trying to emulate our system. It was so good. Now we get all the goons, goblins, and gangsters, and people are fearing for their lives. Home security is a big business now. Ways to protect glass, ways to protect yourself. People installing bollards, those little things that lift up behind your car that you see at the mall, to protect cars from home invasions. There's no end in sight to this. And if a Canadian defends themselves with multiple gangsters breaking in and trying to end their lives, then the Canadian goes to jail. That's right, because Canadian lives don't matter in Carney's Canada. How are Indians the largest claimants of refugees? They are the world's largest democracy and are not at conflict. And that's the problem here. This is phony baloney refugees. Canada used to have the most respected immigration system in the world. Now it's being exploited by criminals while Ottawa looks the other way, deport them and fix the system. Yeah, that's what we have to do. Unfortunately, Carney and the Liberals want this in our country. That's why they're allowing it. You know what the biggest problem of this is? It's not the gangsters, goons, and goblins wreaking havoc and causing crime in Canada. It's the fact that we don't have the best immigration system in the world anymore. We don't have the best people wanting to come here anymore. And a lot of people from South Asia who are nuclear engineers, programmers, or whatever it may be, they're going to be taking heat for all these gangsters, goons, and goblins from South Asia because they'll get painted with the same brush. But India is a huge country. We're talking around 1.4 billion people. We're going to be scaring away the really good people, the smart people who will pay a lot of taxes into our system. Now, some examples of gangsters, goons, and goblins. We got the Toronto Crime Watch posting this one. We got Shakir Bhatti and Pakaram Panglia. These guys are wanted for attempted M-word conspiracy to commit kidnapping, robbery with a pew-pew, disguise with intent, possession of restriction, pew-pew, knowingly not holding a license, possession of prohibited device, knowing no authority, possession of property obtained by crime over 5,000. What do you think, doctor or engineer? We got Kirk posting this as well, so those two guys are on here, as well as two fresh faces here. Update, 2 additional suspects charged in Markham, home invasion, pew-pew, and kidnapping. These guys are all imports from South Asia. Exactly what the external affairs of the government India has warned us about. But the Liberals want this. Otherwise, they would shut the door. They can shut the door on this tomorrow if they wanted to, but they don't want to. They want these guys terrorizing citizens in our country.
On September the 1st, just before 9 a.m., officers were called to a house in the area of McCowan Road and 14th Avenue for reports of a home invasion. During the incident, a 54-year-old man was shot and suffered serious injuries. Officers learned a 29-year-old woman who also lives at that home was kidnapped earlier the same morning in the area of McCowan Road and Highway 407. Investigators learned the woman was driving when she was struck by a vehicle. When she got out to check the damage, a second vehicle pulled up and forced her inside before fleeing. Thanks to the quick work of our officers, 4 suspects were arrested in the scene of the home invasion, and the kidnapping victim was located in Toronto.
The police can catch these guys. The police are good at that. They just can't keep them in jail because the Liberals don't let them. And so what comes of this? A woman got kidnapped, probably traumatized for life, and a 54-year-old man got pew-pewed. Slap him on the wrist and let him back out on bail. Yep, poor Mohammed, please give him house arrest again. I'm sure this time he'll think twice before going out. Yeah, on this episode of Flip Flop Truckers. Okay, we have that. You can't have that audio. I mean, look at this. This is what we have in Canada. There's too much of this. Illegal truck driving. These are truck driving licenses given out willy-nilly to people who don't know how to drive. This should be 10 years, 15 years in jail for every license, illegal license handed out. And for the driver, they need to go to jail too. We're seeing this nonstop. I mean, got Mark Nixon posting this, BC truck chaos. We've got another one here. Look at this falling off the edge here. This one here, yeah. That's going to block some traffic. Did damage to the overpass. Got this one here flipped over on the street. Canadian lives are being ended because of this. If that weren't enough, we got another one here.
Bonehead truckers. Probably cheated, paid for your CDL, didn't even go to school.
I think this one's down in America. This one here is in Abbotsford. This is the one we just saw. It's stuck underneath the overpass. All it takes is one illegal truck driving license, and look how many lives get affected. Jail time, serious jail time. Now, if we put this together, the Liberals have allowed all these people to come into Canada unvetted. We've got the Indian government warning us that their criminals have come here, literal government giving these citizens from other countries, terror lords, citizenship. CBSA knows about at least 600 of them, but we don't know where they are. Nearly 600 foreign nationals with criminal records slated for deportation have vanished from the radar of the Canada Border Services Agency. Among them, 431 are convicted. Serious crimes, not Mickey Mouse stuff, serious stuff, including SA, raising the alarms about public safety and border security.
We're going to be investing in 1,000 new RCMP as well as 1,000 new CBSA officers, Mr. Speaker. We will ensure that our borders are safe and guns are off our streets.
These guys have done nothing. Donald Trump's first issue he brought up was the border. They've had 6 months. Still, they're looking forward to doing it. They're going to be doing this in the future. They're not doing anything. They're disarming Canadians because they're removing free speech from Canada. That's what they're doing.
600 foreign nationals with criminal convictions are roaming around Canadian cities. More than half are on the CBSA's wanted list, and their whereabouts are unknown. Over 70% of these non-citizen criminals have been convicted of serious crimes, including assault. The public safety minister has one job, and that's to keep Canadians safe. On this and many other issues, he is failing miserably. And it's really hard to believe that the Prime Minister just yesterday said he has confidence in the minister. Why won't he fire this minister? Because not doing so calls into question the Prime Minister's judgment.
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, this year the Canada Border Service Agency has removed over 20,000 people, Mr. Speaker. This is one of the largest removals in Canadian history. CBSA will continue to do its job, Mr. Speaker. We will ensure that we're hiring another 1,000 new CBSA officers to strengthen the border and to ensure enforcement, and we will continue to make sure that our borders are safe.
He keeps getting heckled. They're like, when? This guy's an absolute loser. He should not be a minister. He should not be in government. This guy shouldn't even be running a lemonade stand.
We will, at the same time, ensure that guns are off our streets, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for...
Where are you going to take those pew-pews? You going to send them over to your buddies at the Tamil Tigers? According to latest CBSA data, 1,635 foreign nationals convicted of crimes in Canada are currently facing deportation. Goes on to say here, 401 are currently serving prison sentences and are scheduled to leave Canada upon release. And that's why we need the El Salvador jail system, where these people are put to work. They have to work every single day while they're in jail and produce value to Canada. They shouldn't just be sitting there playing Xbox and working out and eating free meals. They need to work every day or they don't get to eat. That way we don't lose money on these people going to jail. Get them out wilderness camps, building trails to put all the street junkies from BC there. Get them clean, get them away from the streets, airdrop them into wilderness camps in the middle of a bowl in the middle of nowhere where they can't escape and they can't hurt other people. Get them some fresh air, some dopamine, get them building trails, building log cabins. The criminals would have come in there first, built the basic infrastructure, and then moved the criminals to another area. Don't want to mix the two. And that way both groups of people that need to get their lives cleaned up are away from the rest of us.
He can't find them. He can't find the 600 serious criminals who are non-citizens who should be deported but are roaming the streets of Canadian cities. The minister had the entire summer to come up with a plan to find these convicted non-citizen criminals who've been convicted of crimes like he lost them and he can't find them. My question through you to the Prime Minister, if this level of incompetence happened at Brookfield, would he still have the confidence in that person or would he fire them?
The Honourable Minister of...
This is hilarious. You look, I was wondering if Carney's still here. He is. Carney heard that.
Mr. Speaker, this year the Canada Border Service Agency will be removing 20,000 people who are not eligible to be here, Mr. Speaker. This is one.
So you notice here, this is a communications tactic. When things are getting really spicy and they're getting nailed hard, Liberal HQ Communications is basically teaching these guys, speak quieter, diminish the situation, see, make it more soft. It's not dangerous. It's not bad. Nice and calm. It's all good. This is a communications tactic.
The highest in recorded Canadian history. We will continue to strengthen the border. We will continue to remove those who are not eligible to be here, Mr. Speaker. We will also be investing in
He's got nothing.
CBSA officers, along with 1,000 new RCMP officers to make our borders stronger.
So moving on here, it shows this removal in process inventory inadmissible types, security grounds, human rights violations, only 1 and 3. The bigger ones here, criminality 855. We've got non-compliance refugee claimants 28,000 and non-compliance non-claimants 1,300. A lot of people have to leave, and not only that, we need to shut the border. No, despite us needing the nuclear engineers, the doctors, and what have you, at this point we don't have room. We need to shut the door. We need to kick a whole bunch of people out and build a bunch of houses and recover our economy and our country. And despite all the crime in Canada, what are the Liberals doing? They're going after law-abiding pew-pews. Disgraceful. It solves nothing and it wastes more money, runs up the deficit.
How is this? You say that the program is voluntary, but after the amnesty ends, the people are not in compliance with the law. So how is this truly voluntary?
So Canadians starting in Cape Breton today will be able to enroll in the program, be able to get compensated if they were to turn their firearm in, or they will be able to get compensation if they deactivate and confirm that it's deactivated with a certificate. So it is strictly voluntary. Nobody is being forced to undertake the buyback program. Well, the expectation is that they will comply, and the order in council, as you know,
yeah, that's not voluntary there, Stalin.
Is being extended from this October to October of 2026. So there is a 1-year window. Our expectations is that law-abiding citizens will abide by the law, and beyond that, the police of jurisdiction is tasked to, as you know, implement the criminal code.
This guy's such a clown. Mao called. He wants some tips on how to run China. This guy calling it voluntary when clearly it is not voluntary. It is being forced. The Pew Pew program is going to blow up in their faces. So voluntary until it is not. Quite the spin they are attempting. Yeah. That's it. It's voluntary until the cops take you away to jail. How exactly is this voluntary if you will be charged if you don't comply? What I'm wondering here is, can Canadians not comply and then sue him based on his language here? He's opening himself up, Mr. Poopy Pants calling out Larry Brock the other day on defamation. His words can be used against him too. He's saying this is voluntary. Canadians could argue then when police show up that the Minister of Public Safety said it's voluntary. I don't know if that holds up, but the words came out of his mouth.